So, okay. Right, welcome to another episode of Soundtrack of Our Lives. So I'm here with Gus from the M Guru, and you are a social media guru, I think, is probably the best way of putting it.
Allegedly, a social media guru.
And number one in the UK, according to your mum, is a little small print, but
absolutely, the little asterisks.
Yeah, the asterisks, yeah. So you kind of specialise in helping people either understand and maximise social media, and I think LinkedIn particularly, I'd be right in saying.
That's correct, yes.
Or you also offer a service where you will kind of do it for them. As a management service.
Yeah, there's two halves to my business. So there's the social media management side where I do it for people, or I teach people how to do it so they can essentially run away and do it themselves.
Yeah.
It's the two sides.
And you, as a split, do you find generally smaller business owners are more likely to want you to do it for them, and then corporates will, because I know you do a lot of corporate training, where they want to manage it themselves, but they don't obviously have the expertise, so they pull you in.
The management side came because, so I used to run a pub and do the social media myself, and then what I thought was, actually I could outsource this, but then I became the outsourcee, as it were, for other kind of businesses and pubs and restaurants, and that's kind of where that element started. So the smaller businesses, they don't have a marketing department, they don't have a team, they just, they're trying to wear all the hats in their business. So I just take one of the hats off them. Yeah. Whereas, corporate firms, they'll have a marketing department, they'll have people that do social media or graphic design or SEO and all that kind of stuff. And actually, it's just going in and just making sure they're doing everything right and teaching them little tricks of the trade where they can really grow their business from there.
Yeah, because it is a minefield. I mean, we all use social media, but if we, I mean, I've known you for quite a few years, and I know that. I know my way around social media, but when I speak to you about it, I realise I know nothing in truth. So it is something that you can see how useful it is.
Absolutely, it's something I do all day, every day. Yeah, that's the thing. And well, like yourself, I mean, when people have jobs to do and day jobs and their work and all that kind of stuff, social media is just something else. The same way like HR or accounts or admin or whatever it is, it's just another thing you have to add on to.
It's a function, isn't it? It's become a function in the business now. You can't really operate in a world without it, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
Generally, so very useful.
Yeah, thank you.
So that's enough about the business. Obviously we're here to talk about a handful of songs that have influenced or shaped your life in one way or another. And the first one we're getting into, which was the question, was a song that reminds you about your hometown. So if you want to let us know which one you've chosen and why.
Fabulous. Yeah, absolutely. So the song that reminds me of my hometown is Enjoy Yourself by the Specials. Born and bred in Coventry, the Specials are from Coventry, and it's just something that, so the Specials, I kind of grew up listening to them. Now I've got 3 older brothers, so they're all into something different. So one of them is into kind of like, he was into like George Michael and stuff like that, and that's kind of where my love for George Michael came from. The one in the middle, he was into like reggae, but like Bob Marley, but also stuff like Lenny Kravitz, etc. And then my oldest brother was into like synth and kind of like 80s, like Spandau Ballet and Culture Club and stuff like that kind of thing.
That's my job.
yeah, absolutely. And I think the combination of the three meant that growing up, I was born in the late 70s. I don't really remember music at the time in terms of the 80s, but when it got into the 90s, because my brothers are older than me and they're into that music, I grew up with that music. So kind of as I got older, I understood what it meant and kind of listened to all that and etc. And I think the Specials are fabulous because I just think they were just a bunch of guys that wanted to have fun basically, and they talked a lot about Coventry. They grew up in Coventry, so I found kind of like an affinity with them and all that kind of stuff. But Enjoy Yourself is a real party pop track kind of thing. It's like, let's just go out and have fun, and it's great. That's what music should be about. Right?
Exactly, and it's also good that when I saw that you'd picked a song by the Specials, and obviously I think everyone would immediately go to Ghost Town, is that probably their most well-known song, which is quite sort of depressing, and I think it was talking of a time when it was recession and everything was downtrodden. So I'm quite happy that you've gone for something that's a lot more upbeat, a lot more positive.
Ghost Town was a fabulous song, and I think it really captured the mood of the moment, if you know what I mean. But and it's weird because in one sense Ghost Town is timeless, but in the other sense that it captured a moment, if you know what I mean. Whereas I think Enjoy Yourself is more of a it's a song for all ages, all genres, and it kind of covers everything. It's kind of like, it's pop, it's ska, it's reggae, it's, you know.
Yeah, it ticks a lot of boxes, doesn't it? And it's just a fantastic song.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Good choice.
Yeah, thanks.
And then we'll move on then to the second question that you opted for, which was a song, or the couple there actually, that reminds you maybe your first dance at a wedding, or just songs that were at your wedding. And you've gone for two choices here,
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so I mean, the question was the song that you know, your first dance, and that was "Let's Stay Together" by Al Green. And then, but the song that I want to talk about is "You Are So Beautiful" by Joe Cocker. So, where the two songs came from was that the songs are from two of my favourite films, basically. "Let's Stay Together" I first heard in Pulp Fiction.
I thought that would.
Yeah, which is weird, right? It's like, oh, they're dancing at your wedding. Like,
how romantic,
Fiction. Yeah, absolutely, yeah, exactly. So yeah, and because I love that song, but it's a real, you know, it's a lovely song. It's a real slow song. Al Green is like a beautiful voice and all that.
Yeah,
kind
his
of
voice is.
It's phenomenal, and particularly in kind of Asian weddings and all that kind of stuff, you kind of, people expect you to have traditional kind of Indian songs and all that kind of stuff. But I don't really listen to Indian music, so it's kind of, Al Green was kind of, you know, it's the kind of music that I grew up listening to, and obviously watching films, you hear soundtracks, and that's where you pick songs from. Now, "You Are So Beautiful" by Joe Cocker, my wife walked down the aisle to that song, and I chose that song because actually it's one of the first conversations that, like, then we were just friends, and it was one of the first conversations that we had, because that song is from the end of Carlito's Way, and both my wife and I love that film.
Yeah.
And although it has a really sad ending, and it's kind of, you know, the song was very poignant at the end of that film, because it was one of our first conversations about that. Because I heard it in our car, and I was like, oh, this is a great track, I love this. And then we started talking about it, etc. And I, you know, and then when I proposed and she said yes, we started planning the wedding, and I thought, she's got to walk down the aisle to that song.
Yeah.
So that's the song that means a lot to us, and particularly me.
Yeah, that walking down the aisle is every bit as important as the first dance, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think makes sense why you've chosen two there, because you can't really pick one or the other. So,
no, exactly.
Yeah, both amazing songs. Yeah.
And this is the thing. I think, you know, with Al Green, I mean, the song kind of means a lot to me, but now it means a lot to us because it's our first dance. But I think the "You Are So Beautiful" by Joe Cocker, it means a lot to both of us from day one, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it was one of the first conversations we ever had, kind of thing. Yeah,
and
about Carlito's Way.
Interesting, both from gangster films as well. So
absolutely, yeah,
both amazing films.
yeah, exactly, yeah. See, my wife wasn't interested in the soundtrack to Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No.
Yeah, so okay, cool. We'll go with the gangster.
Yeah, we'll stick with the gangster track. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay. Right, the third song we've gone for is, the question was, song from the best live gig you've ever been to. So yeah, talk a little bit about this.
So as I said earlier, that my one of my brothers is really into George Michael, and kind of got me into George Michael, and I've got all his CDs, as in George Michael's not my brother's, he's not a singer.
Yeah.
I've got all of George Michael's like CDs, I've got all singles, I've got loads of vinyls and all that kind of stuff. And I've been to see him in concert like 4 times, and the song that I remember from the best live gig I've ever seen is "Jesus to a Child" by George Michael, because George Michael is a real kind of, he was a real showman, if you know what I mean. Like, he would talk to the audience, it'd come out with like big production, obviously the saxophone playing for Careless Whisper, massive bands and all that kind of stuff. But there's something really special about when somebody can, like, whether it's a singer or a comedian or a public speaker, whatever it may be, somebody that can really hold the crowd. And George Michael just basically, the lights went down, all the other music stopped, and it was just him singing "Jesus to a Child" to the audience, and it was just a hushed silence. Everybody was just watching the whole track, just watching him sing for however long it was, 6 minutes or whatever, and it was just amazing. And it just, like, I remember that it was, so particularly the gigs, it kind of, the party atmosphere, and we sing all the songs and we sing along and all that kind of stuff, and then he just gets on a stool, sings a song, and everybody just goes silent. Yeah. And he just holds the audience so well.
It's captivating. Everybody.
It was fascinating, and it's a really emotional song as well. So I think he delivered it even better than anybody else would deliver it, because it means so much to him.
Yeah.
And then it obviously goes back into a party atmosphere. He's kind of like, right, let's get up again, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and just the way he holds the audience and kind of captivates them through all that. But Jesus to a Child is just in terms of the lyrics, the music, just everything that goes with it. I just love that track.
Yeah, I mean, he's a truly incredible artist, isn't he? And I mean, I'm not even a massive George Michael fan as such. There's a couple of his songs I really love, but as an artist, you can't fault the guy. His voice, his performance is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I think George Michael, like my personal opinion is he's one of the best singer-songwriters of a generation, basically.
Yeah,
and I think, you know, when we talk about George Michael, we talk about people like Freddie Mercury or David Bowie or Prince.
He's right up there. He's just totally in that top echelon of performers, I would say, of all time. For me, even as not as a fan, I can't think he's right up there with the very best.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's the important thing is that when somebody's not a fan, the music kind of transcends that. Do you know what I mean? Because people are still into the music. They still, you know, they appreciate and respect him as an artist.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And that's the thing. Whether you're into his music or not, we can say that about again Freddie Mercury, you know, David Bowie, Prince. You know, whether you're into their music or not, you still respect them as brilliant singer, songwriter, artist, showman.
You can't fault them, can you? You just think that they're just right. Something that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. Yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay, so we're already at the last choice, which has gone quicker than I thought. So this one was your favourite song that you love more than anything. Favourite song ever. And a lot of people are resistant to picking a favourite song because obviously music, you know, it changes from one year to the next or whatever mood you're in.
Yeah.
But I always like to know if someone's got something they could actually pick as their standout song.
You know, you always, I listen to a lot of music and I've got like loads of playlists on Spotify, for example, and Amazon Music and all the rest of it. And you always think, what song could I listen to? What's a go-to song that I could listen to all the time? Do you know what I mean? And it was a really tough choice, to be honest. There was so many. And like there's George Michael tracks. I love Love and Pride by King, for example. I love that track. Songs by Badly Drawn Boy and all that. But the one I chose was State of Mind by Goldie. Because it just has everything in it. Kind of it's the piano, it's beautiful vocals, there's a drum and bass soundtrack in the back, and it's one of those songs that either you can dance to or sleep to. Do you know what I mean?
And that's a rare piece, isn't it?
Absolutely, exactly. That's the thing. And particularly, so for me, kind of in the late 90s, I lived in London, and I used to go to a lot of kind of like warehouse gigs like Bagley's and Ministry of Sound and all that kind of stuff. I had multiple rooms, and they'd have an R&B room and a Bhangra room and a trance room and all that kind of stuff. And more often than not, I used to find myself in the drum and bass room, weirdly. And it wasn't I'm not a dancer, but it was kind of like you just get lost in the music, if you know what I mean. And Goldie really brought drum and bass to kind of like the forefront of music kind of thing. I think it came out of the warehouses and essentially into the charts, and I think Goldie
he was a pioneer, that really, wasn't he?
Absolutely, exactly.
Drum and bass goes,
and the album Timeless, which is called From Where State of Mind is From, like the whole album is brilliant. You can listen to it, like I said, you can either dance to it, you can sleep to it, you can drive to it, you can relax to it and all that kind of stuff, and it just has everything. And State of Mind, I think, covers everything because it's beautiful female vocals, it's the drum and bass in the background, it's the piano, it's just lots of things. It just kind of all brings it together.
I don't think, I'm not a drum and bass person. I don't even think I've probably heard. I may have heard the song, but not know the name.
Yeah.
But I need to give it a listen, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, don't get me wrong. Like drum and bass wouldn't be my first choice to listen to music, but I think with Goldie and with tracks that kind of cover everything, I think it's the perfect track for everything. Like I said, Desert Island Discs and all that. We can pick kind of a few tracks, but if I had to choose one that covered everything, that would be the track for me.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a listen then.
Yeah.
At some point in the next week or so.
I will just aside. I will say there is one we've missed.
That we've crossed out.
The Kids.
Oh yes, that's me teaching me not to read in order. There is one we've missed, so yeah.
We'll cover it now.
We'll cover it now. There's no panic. So yeah, there was one obviously that you chose that reminds you of your kids.
Yeah. So I've got one kid, and the song that really reminds me of him is "Life Is a Highway" by Rascall Flatts, and it's just it's a real kind of rock pop song kind of thing, and it's great. And the reason it reminds me of my kid is because, particularly during the pandemic, we watched Cars, like Pixar's.
Yeah.
You know, we watched Cars so often, and it's the soundtrack to that.
Film. Okay, yeah.
But it's, you know, and again, it's all about racing. It's all, you know, obviously there was Lightning McQueen as the car. Then he had, you know, Mac the truck that used to take him everywhere and all that kind of stuff. And the song Life as a Highway was all about his journey as a racing car, and obviously, you know, being with his friends and all that kind of stuff. And I watched the film so often with my kid that the song just, like, I would hear that song all the time. And now I listen to that song. Like, I haven't seen Cars for ages.
Yeah, but it's on the playlist now, isn't it? Yeah,
it's on the playlist, absolutely, yeah. Because it's just, again, it's one of those songs, because I'm really into rock, but it's one of those songs that you can just pick up and play at any point when you want to rock out, when you want to party, you know, and it really, because it reminds me of my kid, reminds me of that time when I got to spend so much time with my kid during the pandemic. It was,
and how old's your
now he's 6. Now he's 6. Yeah, during the pandemic, around 3 or 4 kind of thing.
Yeah, so, and those are special times, aren't they? I know. I mean, obviously, it was a horrible situation for a lot of people, but there is some good that's come out of it, I think. And certainly that time when you kind of focused on just family and sort of togetherness that you don't get day to day, because you've obviously got to get on with living and working and stuff. So
exactly, and that's the thing. You know, we spent a lot of the pandemic trying to, because you know he was young, so it's kind of like keep him entertained kind of thing. So luckily the weather was good, so we'd go outside, kick the football around for a bit, or you know we had a slide in our garden, so we'd go down that bit. You know, we'd have some snacks or whatever, etc. And then we're like, Daddy, I want to watch a film. I'm like, okay, cool, let's watch a film. And, you know, we got the Disney Channel, and it's like, all right, what do you want to watch? And it's like, every day I want to watch Cars. Every day, okay, Cars. Like, you don't want to watch anything else? Like, no, I want to watch Cars. Okay, cool.
Kids are fun, aren't they? They'll sit and watch the same film.
Yeah.
30, 40 times.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure I could write the script to Shrek blindfolded.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times. But it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely, and I think that's the thing, and you always pick out different nuances and different things of the films, and obviously there's 3 Cars films, as it were. I love 1 and 3. Weirdly, my son loves 1 and 2 kind of thing. So but it's the song that, like, so Life as a Highway by Rascall Flatts reminds me of the film. It reminds me of my son. It reminds me of the time that we got to spend together. And it's always on the playlist.
Yeah, fantastic.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, right. I think now we have covered them all.
Yes.
We crossed a couple out here because we were trying to keep it to just sort of 5 or 6 songs.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add one back in, purely because of your line of business. I know you talk about LinkedIn training and social media, but you also do a lot of public speaking.
Yeah.
Where you'll do presentations on that topic and amongst other things. And so one of your songs that you did choose was a song that you'd walk on stage to.
Yeah.
And there was 2 here, so I don't know if you want to pick whichever one that you...
Is one of them the Riverboat song?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. No, and that's the thing. So I will talk about that. So I never want to be a professional speaker, but what I do love is public speaking kind of thing. So, and it's one of those things that I get to inspire people, share knowledge, impart knowledge, kind of get people to think, get people to implement, and get people to do work, like on their social media, on their LinkedIn, on their marketing, whatever it may be. And when I do public speaking, I get to do it to a group. And more often than not, people will always come and speak to me afterwards, and it's that connection that I have with an audience. So particularly the songs that I would walk out to. So I know I've picked 2, and the reason I picked 2 is because it's all about the intros. So it's either the short or the long. So the Riverboat song by Ocean Colour Scene is always, that'll be the short one. And the reason I love that song is because I'm a massive fan of Chris Evans. And I love Chris Evans. I think he's the best broadcaster ever. And obviously when he used to present TFI Friday, right? His guests used to, and the music like that he used to come out to, the music that his guests came out to was the Riverboat song.
Yeah.
And it's that intro, and it was just the best. So I would love to walk out to that. If it was a really long walk up, it would be Thunderstruck by AC/DC. But that intro is like really long.
That's a long walk, isn't it? Yeah.
That would involve a long walk, pyrotechnics, proper spotlights, everything, the works, dancing.
Well, it's AC/DC, you need the full shebang, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. I'd have an air guitar, or all the rest of it kind of thing.
Even maybe do the walk.
Do the walk. Have a flat cap like Angus. Absolutely. But that's I love those tracks, and I think particularly to to walk out to a track is the track that would motivate you. I don't want to sound like do the whole David Brent, simply the best kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You're going out in front of people, and public speaking is not for everyone. I can't imagine I would want to do it myself. Just not for me. Yeah. So to go and do it, it does take some courage, because you're up there and you've got a whole load of people staring at you.
Yeah.
So to get something to G you up and put you in the zone. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's exactly that. It kind of, particularly, both of the tracks, but particularly the Riverboat song by Ocean Colour Scene, because it reminds me of a time growing up and the shows that I watched, like for example TFI Friday, but also it's the rock element of, because it's like the first, I think 40 seconds or so is an instrumental. So it's that, as long as I can get to the stage in 40 seconds, it's that rock music that kind of will get me there, and it's motivational. Like for me, it reminds me of a time, I kind of grew up with that track, etc. So it's not only is it important to me, but it'll be important for me to deliver. Like if it was like a slow track or a soft track, I don't, because I'm quite, when I get on stage, I'm quite kind of
energetic
vocal and loud and energetic. Yeah, exactly. So
I've listened to you present several times at the FSB event last year. It's fantastic, and it is important to get G'd up, isn't it? To feel like you're full of energy. No one wants to sit and watch someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's not public speaking, is it? So,
no, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. And partly it G's up the crowd as well. I mean, particularly when there's music and all that kind of stuff. So if I have a gig big enough where they play music, hopefully Ocean Colour Scene will come on.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that wraps it up then, I think, Gus. So much appreciate you coming on. It's been great to listen to the songs that you've sort of influenced your life.
It's fabulous. I really, not only do I appreciate being asked, but actually music is the leveler, isn't it? And everybody's into something different, and it kind of, music means so much to so many different people. So
and I've never met anyone who doesn't like music in one way or another.
Yeah.
Whether it's rock, dance, drum and bass.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I've never met a person who doesn't like music.
As far as I don't think I have either. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Everybody likes some song somewhere, kind of thing. And obviously, I've got a massive eclectic mix of drum and bass, George Michael,
very
rock.
widespread.
Yeah.
Well, what I'll do, as with every episode, I'll pop all your links in the comment below, so people can find you and follow you if they need social media help. And I'll also pop all your song choices in there. So if you haven't heard any of these songs before, which is unlikely, but people can go and have a listen to what sort of floats your boat, and drop some comments on what they think about it.
Yeah, I'd really appreciate it.
Thanks very much for coming on.
No, my pleasure.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Thank you.